What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video today, and in this video I'm going to be taking a look at various Inflight200 new releases. This is going to be a culmination of several announcements over the last month, since I haven't really taken a look at them since the start of July, and I know that Inflight200, they're announcing new stuff every couple of weeks, and the batches vary in size. So I'm going to be going through some of the announcements that I've been able to obtain from Waffle Collectibles and their newsletter online. So the first batch that we're going to take a look at was announced on Waffle's website on July 5th, right around the time that he got in the Gemini Jet's May/June releases. So this does date way back, but we're going to do our best to get caught up on what we have missed with Inflight200 because we've been doing all kinds of other fun content here on the channel. First up, we do have a Singapore Airlines A300 B2/B4. I believe this is an actual, this is a B4 variant as listed on the Waffle website. Very nice to see Singapore Airlines here in the A300. I believe this is like JFox or something, because I heard someone was talking about that with a new mold for the A300 there, so that's really nice. Moving down, we have a Eurowings A320neo with a Yes to Europe special livery on it. So something about the European Union as far as I can tell on that plane. Moving down, we have a JTA 737-800, another special livery here. This one is the Jinbei Jet, I think is how you say it. Looks like a shark of some kind on there. It's all blue and it's got a bunch of polka dots on it. That looks really cool, actually. Asia, like Japan and China, they got a bunch of special liveries, and I think they do a really good job with them. Moving down, we have another one. This one is like a reddish color. Then we have another A300. This one is Condor in the old livery. And then our last in this batch, we have a Cathay Pacific A321neo. Very nice. So overall, a fantastic first batch here. Only 6 planes in total with regards to the amount in that particular batch. So let's go ahead and move on. We do have another announcement. This is from July 15th, and in that he got some other various things like GSE, so just kind of buried in here. But here we go. It looks like a bigger batch this time. Starting off here, we have a Mexicana A318. That is very nice. Did not fully know that they had some of them in the past, but that's pretty cool. We have an Aeromexico DC-10-30 with the old orange livery. This is all polished as well. And for some reason, the link doesn't work. It just redirected me back to the front page. Moving down, we got an Iberia Express A321neo. Ooh, hello. Braniff A320. We actually got 2 of them here. One with the blue titles and one with the red titles. Now, I believe, if I remember correctly, this is Braniff 2, I think. Braniff 2 or 3. It was one of the later Braniff iterations. They had orders for the Airbus A320, which was a brand new plane at the time. And they did have a couple painted, but they never actually operated them before the airline went under. So a bit unfortunate with regards to what happened with the Braniff A320. But this was Braniff 2, so just fact-checking myself there since I'm a little fuzzy on that again. But yeah, Braniff 2s who originally were intended to operate the A320s here. And I believe these went to America West later on, and some of them are still flying with American Airlines. Moving now, we've got a Delta A330-300, which has got a cheek stamp on it. And again, still having trouble with the links. Let me see if I can open them up here in another tab or something. Nope, that's not going to work, so I guess we're just going to have to move on. We do have a Braniff Calder, and I believe, yes, that does look like one of the Calder planes that did not fly, because Alexander Calder, who was the designer of those liveries, he designed several before he passed away, unfortunately, and they never flew because he had 2. Then there's a third one that everybody likes to talk about. I think that might be the one that people do like to talk about there. But yeah, so very nice. Again, I can't get the information pulled up, and I'm going to try my best here to see if I can find it. There we go. This is the Mexico livery. So just checking that with regards to what livery that is. And I'll check for that Delta A332 since I forgot to pull that up. This one is, well, it doesn't specify. I remember that surfacing earlier this summer, but I can't remember what that one was. Next up, we have a Mexicana 737-800 with splits, X-Ray Tango - Alpha Tango Mike is the registration. Seaboard World 747-200, which has the Southwest prefix, or at least the old one, but obviously did not fly with them. UTA 747-300, and once again, this aircraft does indeed exist. That's an inside joke, by the way, if you're a little confused on that. But continuing on, we have a TUI Airways 757-200. That is very nice. We have another brand of Calder here. This is a DC-862, and that one looks very familiar. And I know for sure there was one that did fly on the DC, and I think this is the one. Yep, this is the one that did fly. November 1805 is the registration. We have Air Force 2 up next, the 752 or the C-32A. And how about this right here, a TWA DC-940. Very nice. Love to see some Twin Stripes DC-9s being made, even if it's not in the scale that I collect. And a very interesting Classic Airways. Ooh, the name is tickling my fancy there, so let's see what the listing shows. Yeah, not too much there, but looks like there's some kind of British airline, maybe a charter airline perhaps. I'm not too familiar with them. We have an Air Canada Rouge A320. I see a Hawaiian DC-1030. I believe that one is a Continental or an ex-Continental airframe based on the registration and also the livery. I think I did see that one already. I've seen a couple of these, but I haven't really looked through the full list on all of these recent announcements. Then we have a Japan Airlines 747-300 in the old livery. That's another nice aircraft, another 743. And then the last in this batch, we do have a Swiss 777-300ER. Very nice batch here from mid-July, looking really good here with all the various choices made. Yeah, so Inflight200, they do a really good job of being diverse and, trying to get a good, broad assessment on all kinds of airlines and aircraft types from around the globe. Next announcement here comes from July 26th. It's labeled as the 27th, but the date shows up as the 26th. So a bunch of other stuff in here. It looks like I got a small batch here, just 4 planes. Aerolíneas Argentinas 737-800 in the regular livery. A Viasa Venezuela 727-200. There's also a Lab Lloyd Aero Boliviano, so that's from Bolivia, another 722, and then also an Air Panama 727-100, which looks polished here. Is this a... No, this is not a hybrid or anything. Yeah, this is not... Obviously, this wouldn't be American Airlines, but yeah, very interesting. Air Panama, not too familiar with that airline. So there's another batch of Inflight200 releases, and I believe there is one more that just got announced recently. Take a look here. Yeah, August 8th. So this is just announced today, at least on the Waffle website. So let's go ahead and take a look at this final batch to conclude this video. We have a Martinair Holland DC-10-30. Take a look here. Very nice. 1980s livery, as expected. Then we have an Airbus A318 in the house livery with the IAE engines. A couple of these existed, but the one I remember seeing from British Airways that had the CFM engines on it. We have a Pakistan International Airlines A320 with the retro livery. I know a guy that would really like this in if this was in 400 scale. I actually remember seeing it in Airliners International in Chicago a couple of years ago from Aero Classics back in 400 scale. Wizz Air A321neo with the Team Hungary special livery for the Olympics. And we have a Philippines A340-200 here. This one has a 100th anniversary sticker just below the window lines and the airline titles. Eastern 747-100 here. This is a Pan Am registration. This is not the hybrid, which I know Gemini did, and I do have that plane in my collection. A lot of good stuff in this release. Wow. Malaysia 747-300. That is nice. And then a Australia Asia 747 SP. I believe, yes, this is an ex-Qantas airframe there based on the reg, because that does look familiar. I've seen NG do that a couple of times in the past. El Al 762 in the old livery, and I also see LTU 763. Very nice. Flying Tigers DC-863, November 780 Foxtrot Tango. And then someone alerted me to this when this got announced. An Ozark DC-930 here. This is in the older 70s livery, the Three Swallows livery. And this is the particular livery that I need in 400 scale. I did find one on Waffle, but as I've explained before, that was a stock error that occurred. So unfortunately, was not able to obtain that plane right away. Then we have a US Air DC-930 in the 90s liveries. This is the much newer livery right before they rebranded to US Airways. And we have a Northwest 747-400 here in the thermometer livery. Very nice. $170 for that. Very cool. 665 Uniform Sierra is the reg, so one of the early 744s that Northwest got before Bowling Shoe came around. And speaking of Bowling Shoe, we do have a Northwest DC-940 in this livery with November 750 November Whiskey as the registration. Also contains the Worldwide Reliability sticker that from their partnership they had with KLM. And that is the final batch of Inflight200 releases that I have here for this video. very diverse batch of releases for sure from Inflight200 over the course of the last month, and I'll try to get back on a nice groove to get caught up on Inflight200 releases more regularly. There's just been a lack of it because of all the content that's been coming out here with airliners and other related events that have taken place, but once that's all fully out, I'll be sure to get more into a groove of keeping up to date with Inflight200, since that was one of my original goals. But now that we are caught up on it, it is nice to know of all the cool releases that are out there available for pre-order and also for purchase, since some of them I believe have arrived now at some retailers, because that backlog is just infinitely growing. It just continues to do that, because that is what Inflight200 does best. So with that being said, that is the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.